I've got a resistance band, but a pair of tights will do, or a stretchy scarf, something like that. You could tie 2 long socks together. And the other thing I'm going to use is a pair of socks just rolled up into a ball. I usually use beanbags in my classes, but I thought I'd provide some DIY equipment today because I'm sure you don't have a beanbag. Also, you might need a sturdy chair or a stool if you don't want to do kneeling. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already, and tell your friends to subscribe too. Okay, let's get going. You're going to need your mat and some space. For now, I'm going to put the band to the side, but I've got my rolled up socks, and I'm going to position my feet hip width with the toes pointing forwards and the knees slightly soft. And I'm taking the socks in my right hand. So to start with, I'm just going to roll my right shoulder back 4 times. Trying to keep the rest of my body still, so my chin is parallel to the floor, I'm looking straight ahead. And then I'm placing that shoulder back and down, and I'm passing it round the back into my left hand. I'm going to do the same here, keeping my pelvis still, my knees soft, my head still, my chest facing the front. Lovely. Now I'm going to pass it round the back again, and then I'm going to circle that right arm across the body 4 times and out to the side again, using my tummy muscles to keep my body, my pelvis in particular, really still, hip bones facing the front. Pass around the back, keeping those knees soft, do the same with the left. I'm going to tune into my breath, inhale, exhale, trying to keep that left shoulder in place rather than letting it follow the arm. Inhale, exhale, lovely, and then I'm passing it round the back again. Now I'm going to keep the socks low, I'm passing them round the front into the left hand and behind, and as I pass them to the front I scoop the pelvis, and as I pass around the back I stick out my bottom, trying to keep my chest vertical. So just keep going with this, scoop and stick out bottom, breathing in, pulling the tummy muscles in all the time, exhale. Now when you get to the front this time you're going to go the other way, so stick out your bottom as you pass around the back, scoop as you bring it around the front, just warming up through the lower back here. Breathing in, breathing out, keeping the shoulders back and down. Try not to squeeze your bottom when you scoop. Okay, so taking it into the right hand, I'm going to raise the left knee and bring it down, feet hip width, pass around the back. Raise the right knee, so it's opposite arm to leg, as you can see here. Breathing in to raise, pulling in the tummy, exhaling to come down. Very nice, just a couple more. So really try and keep the movements smooth, and make sure when you raise, you don't slouch like I just did there into the hip that's supporting you. Bring it back into your right hand. We're going to bend the knees and take chair squats, pass around the front, don't pass around the back. So I'm going to show you from the side here. You bend the knees, but you take your pelvis diagonally down behind you. So feel the weight in your heels there. Try not to round your spine like this. Try and keep the shoulders back and down. And also try not to stick out your bottom, thus tipping your pelvis forward, because that is moving your pelvis. You've got to keep it completely still. Don't tip forwards as you go down. Keeping the knees above the ankles, the tummy muscles in. Don't lean forward too much. Keep a nice diagonal position. So I've really got my tummy muscles in. And we'll just do a couple more, breathing in to go down, breathing out to stand up. One more. Beautiful. Keeping the feet hip width apart. I've got the socks in my right hand. I'm going to step forward with my left along imaginary tram lines, lifting the heel at the back, bending both knees and keeping my chest up. And as I do that, I'm going to just raise the socks on the right and tilt overhead a little bit. Try not to stick my hips out. So feeling a stretch, bringing the socks and the arm back up to the top, pushing back using my core, passing around the back. So now I'm going to step forward with my right leg and raise the left arm. So the heel is off at the back, the feet both point forwards, and they're on these imaginary tram lines which are hip width apart. My shoulders are down, my hip bones are level, my tummy's in, and I'm vertical. I'm not leaning forward over that front knee. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little tilt without swinging my hips out. That's part of the difficulty of this exercise. Back to the top, step in, pass around the back So let's keep it going. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Pass around the back. Step forward. Inhale, exhale. Try not to shrug your shoulders. Inhale, exhale. Let's do a couple more. So really using the core muscles. And the last one. Inhale, so make sure that front knee stays above the ankle rather than going too far forwards, and your chest remains vertical. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to bring the heels together. So Pilates V stance with the knees soft but without tipping your pelvis forward and sticking out your bottom. So zip up, shoulders back and down. I'm going to squeeze the glutes. I'm going to lift the heels and just hold here. And then release, bend the knees an inch without sticking out your bottom, pass around the back, squeeze and lift. Release glutes, bend, pass. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. This time, hold, take a breath in, and as you exhale, just rotate to the right towards the socks, back to center, lower, and then do the same. Inhale here to hold, squeeze your bottom. Rotate to the left, following the socks without moving your hips as you exhale. Back to center as you inhale, exhale there. So now we've got inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Rotation while you keep the hips facing forwards. When you bend the knees, a lot of people tend to stick out their bottom and lean forwards. Don't bend your knees a lot, it's literally an inch. Let's just do two more. If it's too much to lift the heels, don't worry, don't do that. Just keep the heels down like I'm doing here. Lovely. Pass around the back, roll the shoulders back, and then we're going to take a squat out to the right and pass the socks overhead. Bring the heels together, squat out to the left, pass the socks overhead. So you should be symmetrical here. Bring the heels together. Again, make sure you don't lean forward and stick out your bottom. I'm next to a wall, I'm in front of a wall, and if I lean forward, my bottom hits the wall, and I don't want to do that. So I'm using my tummy muscles to keep my pelvis steady, to stop it tipping forwards and sticking out my bottom. So you want to keep your chest vertical. Hold it here. Now before you pass into the left hand, I'm just going to take a rotation to the right, back to centre, pass to the left as you step in. Okay, let's do the same this side. So make sure you're not shrugging the shoulders up. Rotate to the left. I haven't quite passed the socks yet. Back to centre and bring it in. So don't worry if you get mixed up as to which hand they're meant to be in. Just a little pass around the top. So rotate without moving your hips and legs. Back to centre. Let's just do one more each side. Keeping the tummy muscles in, keeping it flowing. And just to remind you of the breath, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Lovely. Okay. So keeping the knees soft, checking you're in neutral. You're not sticking out your bottom. You're not scooping. You're sort of somewhere in between. Shoulders back and down. Bring the arm across the body as we did earlier, but we're in a V stance. Pass around the back, across the body. Keeping the shoulders back and down. Let's let that knee follow and turn the hips a little and turn the hips out wide. Bring it back. So as the arm comes across, your chest and hips can turn, and they can turn wide as you take that arm out. So turning the chest and hips, standing really tall out of that left hip. Try and relax your feet. Let's just do one more. Turning, balancing, standing tall through that right hip. Lovely. Okay, so now keeping your hands behind you, clasping the socks like so. We're just going to lift the arms, holding onto the socks with both sets of fingertips, pulling in the tummy. Just lift the arms and squeeze the shoulder blades together and release. Exhale to lift. Inhale to release. Keeping the rest of the body still. Exhale to lift. Inhale to release. One more. And then I'm going to scoop the pelvis, like so, keeping the knees soft. I'm going to curl down, pulling in the tummy, taking my chin towards my chest, and raise the arms up behind you, raise the socks as best you can. You can bend the elbows, it's up to you, just find a comfortable position. Try to keep your shoulders back and then re-scoop the pelvis and roll back up through the spine. Let's do one more of those, keeping those knees soft. So scoop, try and keep your shoulders back, chin towards your chest, tummy in. Bend your elbows as much as you need to. You might not want to bend your elbows much. Re-scoop the pelvis, roll the shoulders back if they've rolled forwards, and bring yourself up. Let's bring the socks round the front and separate the heels and raise here, keeping the shoulders down. We take another scoop and we roll down. This should feel easier, but don't let your shoulders roll forward. Let's go all the way to the floor. Re-scoop, keep the knees bent and roll up, pulling in the tummy, rolling the shoulders back. Chin comes last, and when you get to the top, push the hips forward, lift the chin a little, and then return to neutral. Re-scoop, roll down vertebra by vertebra, all the way, keeping your shoulders back and your tummy in. Knees are bent, re-scoop at the bottom, roll up through the spine, keeping your feet relaxed. When you get to the top, just lightly push the hips forward without squeezing your bottom, lift the chin an inch or so. Arms slightly behind your head, opening up the chest, and then back into neutral, and then lower the arms, little shoulder roll. Throw the socks to the front of your mat, and we're now going to come down to the floor onto our knees, or you can take a seat on a stool. So to come onto your knees, I'm just going to turn around. You stay facing the screen. If you can come down like so, try and choose the leg that feels the least comfortable, because we always try and challenge ourselves in Pilates, but if that's too difficult, choose your favourite leg. Trying to keep your pelvis steady without swinging your hip out. Otherwise, come down onto your knees in your own way, or you might choose to sit on a chair. If you need some padding for your knees, kneel on a cushion. Take your band or your tights. If the tights are quite stretchy, you want to do a little pull before you hold it like this. My band is more resistant, so I'm just going to have it at normal tension. Shoulders back and elbows tucked in, and keeping the wrists straight and the palms up without gripping too tightly. Just going to pull as you exhale and inhale and return. So keep everything still. Try not to pull so much that your wrists have to bend, and no tension in the neck. Now, you may not pull as far this time, but just pull a little and rotate just the chest, not the hips. Back to center, release tension. Let's go the other way. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Couple more. So you feel it on the outer upper arm. If you're kneeling, it's harder not to turn your hips. If you're sitting, the chair will stop you from turning your hips. Lovely. Okay, so you may want to rest the band and just give your arms a shake. Take it around the back and just tuck it a little higher than your waist and hold it a little wider. Shoulders back as always, and pull. Keeping upright and keeping your wrists as straight as possible. Exhale, inhale, bending the elbows back towards your body. Keeping those shoulders in place. Good, so no hunching. Relax your feet. Okay, let's do it. Let's add that rotation. So hold, you might not go as wide this time. Rotate, keeping the hips facing the front. Back to center. Bring it in with control. And again, inhale, go the other way. Exhale. Just moving at the waist for that rotation. Inhale, exhale. One more each side. So once the arms go wide here, they don't move now in relation to your body. Exhale, rotate waist, inhale, center, exhale with control. Last one, try not to tense the neck, pull the tummy in. And release, couple of shoulder rolls, pop the band on the floor if you're kneeling, give everything a little bit of a shake out if that feels good. So taking the band high, but without shrugging. So if you need a breather from kneeling, you may want to come back up onto your feet. And I'm just going to lock that left arm, and I'm going to tilt to the right from the waist, but I'm not pulling with my right hand. The tension is occurring in the band because I'm tilting and I've locked that left arm. So that creates the tension in the band, bringing it back to the top. I'm going to try and do the same the other side. So I'm locking that right arm in space, I'm sitting tall, really elongating the spine. I'm trying to tilt to the left, but without pulling the band. Try not to pull the band. The tension comes from moving your upper body away from that locked right arm. So let's try it again. So locking your left arm, It's very difficult not to pull on the band with your right hand, but try to limit that. Try to just get the tension from the tilting. Make sure you don't shrug, pull your tummy in, and keep your hips still. So if you're standing, it's harder to keep your hips still, more challenging. Lovely. And let's bring it down. Okay, so now we're going to take it to the floor. Well done. To come to the floor, scoop the pelvis at the back of your mat, curl down, soft knees, roll down through the vertebra, walk your hands forwards into a plank, and you can put your knees down straight away and lift your feet if you prefer. Shoulders above your hands, tummy muscles in tight, bottom flat if you possibly can. You might be on your feet here, keeping the knees soft, nice and strong, and the back of your head in line with your spine. So don't look down, don't look straight ahead, although I appreciate you've got to see the screen. Make sure you don't shrug into those shoulders, keep the elbows a little soft. Okay, so from here, we're just going to lower the knees if you haven't already, and take another stretch. And then come onto all fours. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Take a pelvic scoop, pulling in the tummy and rounding the shoulders. Rolling back the shoulders, sticking out your bottom, looking straight ahead. So we're going between the two extremes here. You've got this shape, which is kind of like a U-shaped spine, or you've got this one, pulling in your tummy and rounding your shoulders and scooping your pelvis, which is an end shape. So just very slowly travel between the two. And then find your neutral, which is a flat back with the neutral curves of the spine, obviously. Can't eliminate those, and we wouldn't want to. Back of head in line with the spine. So without leaning the body at all to either side, so keep that pelvis anchored, we're going to extend the right arm and the left leg behind you. So ideally we're looking for a straight line. I'm not going to cheat and hold on to that stool. So you can soften that left knee, but do squeeze your glutes a little on the left and hold this position. And if you feel brave enough, you can lift your foot on the right, but be prepared for it to shoot your equilibrium forwards a little. Only lift it an inch or so, see if you can hold that balance. Don't hold your breath. If it's too difficult, just lower your left leg a little. Keep the knee soft and just hold that balance there. So you've got three options. Leg down on the left, leg up on the left, or lift the right foot as well as the left leg. Hold and breathe. Come down in your own time. Slide that left leg in, take a stretch, and maybe give that poor left wrist a little rotation. All right, let's try the other side. So we're going to make sure we're set up properly. Extend that left arm and the right leg. Lift the right leg and soften the knee and hold that balance if you can, without leaning to the left. Keep your pelvis completely centered. Now, if you need to return that right foot to the floor, you can, just very lightly, but if you feel you can lift your left foot just an inch off, be ready for it, use your core muscles. But keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Check that you're centered. If it's getting too difficult, you need to make an easier move, so return that right foot to the floor, or at least return the left foot to the floor. And then bring it down, slowly, carefully, and stretch through and give that right wrist a little bit of relief. So finding your band again, or your tights, you have to remember the DIY people, and bring your feet in front and place the band underneath. And just hold it with your palms facing each other and your thumbs on top. So your wrists are straight, shoulders back and down, knees soft. So we're going to take a pelvic scoop and you slide back a little bit, allowing your spine to roll down towards the floor. Using the band to help you, soften your knees and see if you can come up again and sit tall. Okay, let's try that again. So it's up to you how much tension you have in the band. So scoop the pelvis, vertebra by vertebra, relax shoulders, come back up. Hopefully not relying on the band too much this time. We're just going to come forwards and then return to sitting tall. Soften those knees so you're not using your thighs. One more time, scoop pelvis, drop back as far as you want to go, maybe nearly all the way down. Soften knees, breath in as you breathe out, come up without relying on tensing the shoulders and using the band too much. Go forwards, a little further maybe, just relaxing your hands in the band, and then roll the shoulders back. A scoop and a drop back, but not as far this time, keeping the knees soft. widening into a kind of motorcycle position and keeping the shoulders back and down. We're just going to rotate to the right, bend that right elbow a little, keeping the shoulders in place, back to centre, rotate to the left. You can bend that left elbow a little, making sure the shoulders don't roll forwards, bring it back to centre, breath in, and as you breathe out, widen and then drop forwards, bringing the palms towards each other and roll back up. Let's go again, shoulders back and down. So scoop, drop back, motorbike position. Let's go left first this time. So rotate the upper body, bending that left elbow, maybe straightening the right arm. Back to centre, hold yourself steady using your core. Other way, keep the shoulders back, don't forget to breathe. Back to centre and then up we come, taking it wide, and then we drop forwards, bringing the palms towards each other, and then we roll back to sitting and roll the shoulders back and down. Soften those knees to make sure you don't use the thighs. I'm going to shuffle forward a bit to make sure I've got enough room on the mat. So let's go all the way to the floor now. So bending my knees, keeping the band under my feet and just rolling down through the spine. And at the point where you feel ready, just lift your legs as you go down. Bring the knees into the chest. I'm going to switch my grip on the band and just take a little stretch here, rocking side to side. Just giving that back a lovely stretch. Okay. So now, keeping your right leg in the band, your left leg can extend along the floor, it can bend slightly, or you can lift it off the floor and keep it extended with a slight knee bend, using the core muscles to keep that pelvis as steady and still as possible. So stay strong through the core, shoulders back and down, lots of give in the band. Take that leg across the body, down to the bottom, out wide and up to the top. Let's do 4 in that direction, trying to keep everything else as still as possible. If you need to make the circle a lot smaller, so fine. I'm so fine with that, and so should you be. Don't forget to breathe. Hard work. I'm going to put my left foot on the floor. Let's go the other way. Not too fast, but not too slow either. Make sure there's no tension in the neck. Keep the hands pretty still. And when you're done, let's bring that left leg up into the band, switch feet, bring your right leg down, so extend it partially or fully. Don't lock the knee though, and you can lift it off the floor if you want to. Bringing that left leg across, round, out, and top. So you're getting a stretch as you go as well. Now, I can feel tension in my neck, so I'm holding both bits of the band in my left hand and supporting my head with my right hand. You might want to use a cushion instead. It's very easy to bring your neck and shoulders into this move. So if you're finding that no matter what you do, you're tensing, bend your knee, make the circle a lot smaller. Just go with how you feel. Don't forget to breathe. Okay, so bringing my right leg now into the band. Feet together. Let's just hold on to the band gently and let's pull as you bring the legs over. And then return. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get some extra movement from my spine. A lot of people are very tense in the mid-spinal area, the thoracic spine. So using the band helps you get your legs further over, gives you a bit more mobility, but don't force it too much. You can do it without the band, but I find that using the band gives me that extra bit of mobility. Do it gradually. Now let's practice core strength. So roll the feet in, maybe not as far as you did. And now keeping your hands still, so there's tension in the band, push the hips up. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. I'm trying not to straighten my legs fully as I do this. I'm trying to do it from here to lift my hips higher up to the ceiling, keeping my arms still, so not letting them go with that lift, unless you want to make it easier, of course. So that there's not so much tension in the band, you can let your arms follow to release the tension. So now I'm going to remove the feet from the band and place the band on my shins, like so. Try and have it flat, not all scrunched up. Equal band either side. Position the legs so that they're in tabletop. So I have to switch on my core, hopefully it was on already, and bring the knees above the hips, right angle behind the knees, feet nice and relaxed, and just holding that band with a little bit of tension here, not so much that you're forcing your arms to the floor. Shoulders back and down. Knees above hips, remember, although if it feels too difficult for your core and your back's aching, you need to bring your knees in a little bit more, like so. I'm really switched on through the core. Breath in. As I exhale, I lift the head, and I lift the shoulders, and I lift the upper back. And so that this area here is contracting. Think of a U shape, but keep those shoulders relaxed. Hold in this position. And I'm just going to pull, pumping the arms, but keeping the elbows soft. Trying to keep my legs still against that pull. So now for the breathing. We breathe in for 5 pumps. We breathe out for 5 pumps. Let's try it. Inhale, 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 exhale, 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 exhale. That's really hard to say. When you've had enough, hold, take hands behind head to give it some support. Roll back down. Can you do another round? Grab your band again, keep your legs still. Come on, switch on those abs, shoulders relaxed, breath in as you breathe out, lift. So come on, let's get a little higher here. And here we go. That's 50. I could do another 50, possibly, but I'm not going to. Hands behind head, stay switched on. Let the head and neck relax. Roll down. Grab the band, take it overhead. Now bring your knees and feet together and lower your feet to the floor using your tummy muscles all the way. And when you get there, just relax. Allow the knees and toes to rest out there. Step the feet in, hip width apart. Bend the knees quite a lot so the heels are under the knees. Scoop and roll up using your glutes as well. Stretch out your thighs. Bring the band over. Pull the arms towards the floor. Keep that body really still. Tummy in. Take the arms back over. Roll back down. Go again. Scoop and roll up. Bring it over. A little pull. Stay strong. Roll back down. One more time. Scoop, roll up. Really pull the tummy in, really push the hips up, feel the glutes working, and as you bring the arms over, feel the triceps working. There. Pulling the hands, the arms towards the floor. And back up and over, and roll back down. Lovely. Bring your right knee in. Throw the band under your right foot. Keeping some tension in the band, the leg doesn't have to be really straight. Let's try and do a shoulder bridge in this position. So scoop and roll up. Pull the band gently as you push up through the left glute, using your core. Roll back down. Couple more. So as you lift the hips, you get more tension in the band. You come down through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. You scoop. If that's enough, just take a breather. You scoop and roll up. It's hard work. And you roll back down. Lovely. You then switch legs. Shoulders back and down. Scoop pelvis, roll up vertebra by vertebra. Roll back down vertebra by vertebra. It's quite hard to scoop, I'm finding, on this side. So you're getting a stretch in the back of your leg as well. It's all good. Use your right glute. Don't tense your shoulders. Keep the breath flowing. When you're done, just bring it out of the band. And down, coming onto your side, lying on one arm, so knees bent, feet behind you. You can bring the knees in front a little bit. I'm just going to try and lift here, this area. So no band this time, just lift and hold and lower. Just lift. So I'm keeping my knees and feet down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. This time we hold the lift. We open the knees but keep the feet together. We close the knees, we lower. We hold the lift, we open, keep the pelvis still, we close, we lower. A couple more of those. Try not to tense your neck and shoulders. It's very difficult not to, I appreciate. Almost do them together, sort of blending them for that last one. And then come up onto your elbow. Nice and strong, diagonal. This time knees in line with your body. Let's lift up and over, so pushing the hips up a little bit without sinking into that shoulder. So when you land, just touch very gently the the outer thigh and hips to the floor. So it's barely a landing. Feel good, feel it strong here. Now can you maybe have a breather if you need to, come up and rotate just to release that shoulder, but if you can, hold, open, close, down. How's that? One more. Try not to relax fully when you land. Let's blend the last one. Use that core. I didn't blend very well there, did I? And then up and over and over. Only as far as you feel able. Stretching the underside of your body. Let's swivel it round. Do the same on the other side. So first of all, lying. So feet behind, you can have your knees in front. We're just going to lift and lower. So exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Really using the core to lift this lower hip and outer thigh off, but without tensing the shoulders. Keeping your knees and feet down. This time let's hold the lift. Open the knees, but keep the feet together. Don't let that hip roll backwards if you can help it. Close the knees, lower. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Where can you release tension? And remember, you can keep your hip down, just lift out of it slightly, just lift the weight out of it. Let's blend it a little more. Lovely. Okay, so now coming up, use your hand to bring you up. If you need to do a little bit of mobility there, that's fine. Bring your knees in line with your body. Don't slouch into that shoulder. Don't make a curve here. Have a straight diagonal line. Tummy in, not pressing into this lower hip too much. I'm going to roll my mat because this elbow is feeling it a little bit. So shoulder above elbow, head diagonal, tummy in, chin off chest. We just lift and lower without relaxing and sinking. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. You lift a little higher. Maybe let the hips lift out of line of the body. Just getting a little bit more movement. Now let's hold the lift. Open the knees. Close the knees. Lower without relaxing. Unless you need to, of course. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Breathe in. Breathe out. Don't rush. Don't let that hip roll back. Okay, this time I'm going to try and blend it. Feel good, feel strong, and then without sinking, push up, and let's stretch over and back. That's it. Breathe with it. Exhale, inhale. Use your band. Lying down carefully. Bring the knees to the chest and just extend your legs. Give the band a little pull. Bend your knees, like we did earlier, just getting a little bit more movement through that spine. Good. Breathe through it. Let the legs rock side to side. Your elbows will stop you losing your balance. Let the hips follow. Okay, I'm going to do a little roll up now. So as you come up, if you struggle, push your legs forward in the band like that. That might help you get up. Using your core, of course. Unhook yourself from the band. Take your feet round the back, coming onto your knees, bringing your band into your hands, tummy in, hip bones level, shoulders back and down. Bring your weaker leg in front, whichever one that happens to be. Mine's my left. Tuck the toes under at the back. Raise the arms if you can. Keep them in front if you need to. Shoulders back and down. Breath in. Use your core. As you exhale, just pull gently on the band and push up to standing. Easier said than done, no? Roll your shoulders back. Arms by your side, chin towards your chest. Make sure you're in neutral. And turn to the right, lifting and breathing. Lowering all the way and across to the left, lifting and breathing. Back to centre, looking straight ahead. A couple of shoulder rolls and you are done. Well done.